Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mickey from Modern C10. I've had some requests to do more videos. I know we've been busy in the last 2 or 3 months, and we haven't really had time to make any videos of our builds and stuff like that. Uh, Going into this year, I wanted to make a video on our hourly charge and our shop rates. That's probably the number one question I get. I get phone calls daily. You know, what do you charge to do this? What do you charge to do that? So I'm going to give you a brief description of how we run our invoicing and how we charge for our time. And I'm going to give you some examples of the builds we have in our shop so that you can really understand what we do here and why we charge the way we charge. All right, guys, it's late here in the shop. Nobody's here. I decided to do this video in the evening when it's quiet. So I'm going to go over some of our builds here and show you what we do. And let me flip this camera around. Okay, for example, here's a build we're doing for TJ Gatlin. This thing is a complete build. As you could tell by looking at the headers, the way we're mocking up the turbo setup, modifying these slosh tubs, custom building intercoolers, custom building radiator, custom building this core support, even the hood latch mechanism. This is all one-off designed parts. Designing this hood latch where you can reach through the factory grill and it works just like a factory one. It pops the hood up, but it releases pins over here. I mean, all that stuff, there's no way I can estimate that. Guys, I've been fabricating custom parts on race cars and trucks for probably close to 20 years now. I cannot give you an estimate on what it takes to build that, from an idea to complete operating installed. There's no way. If there's any fabricator that can just pull an idea out of his ass and tell you this is how many hours it's going to take me to build this, he's lying. Promise you. He's just trying to satisfy you with what you want to hear, so you'll pay the man. But at the end of the day, he doesn't know unless it's a repeatable part that he's built over and over and over and over again. So let's just say that we logged some hours on this truck. We know what it took for us to do the intercoolers and the headers and all this stuff. So we got all of our information from this truck, and we have an idea what it took to build it. Next truck, you flip over to. Completely different engine package, completely different suspension, completely different core support, firewall, air conditioning system, wiring. There's nothing, absolutely nothing the same between these two trucks. The wiring on this truck, which is what we're doing right now, extremely simple. Manual window truck. No accessories, not really much of anything. He does have an air conditioner, but this truck is as basic as it gets when it comes to wiring. There's no fuel injection. It's carbureted. You know, it does have electric fans, but this is a pretty simple wiring job on this truck. This truck, it has a Fuel Tech FT600 for the fuel injection, fuel management. It also has all the data logging capabilities that we will utilize. We will log everything on this truck like a race car. It's got air conditioning. It's going to have a complete kicker sound system in here. It's going to have an alarm, remote start, power everything. Power windows, power everything. So the wiring between this truck and this truck, not even close to the same. The fabrication between this truck and this truck, not even the same. Okay, and this truck's a 79. This one's a 78. So they're pretty similar trucks, pretty much the same body, completely different chassis, completely different design or theme, whatever you want to call it. Completely different trucks. Super high performance, gonna, twin turbo, probably upwards of 1,500 horsepower. This guy's going to drag and drive this truck. He's going to drive it all over the country, race it every opportunity he has. This truck just laying low, looking cool, going from show to show. Now, they're pretty similar trucks though, right? I shaved the firewall on this one a little while back. See what we did there? I got a pretty good idea how long it took us to do that. We logged the time. We know what it took. Bam, completely different truck. Now I got to shave the firewall on this one. Maybe he wants some custom inner fenders fabricated for it. We're building a whole nother chassis for it. But see, we're actually not building a tube chassis like this one on the table. I know exactly how long that chassis takes to build. I've built a bunch of them. This one, we're going to actually take a Porter-built back half and a Porter-built front half and basically build a chassis for that truck. I don't have that time logged anywhere. I have no idea how long that's going to take. I know it's going to be rad when it's done, but I can't tell you how long that's going to take. Okay, here's the bed to TJ's 78. I know exactly how long it took us to cut the floor, move it over 4 inches, install the new wheel tubs, come in, weld the floor back up, body work it all. We put this roll pin in here. It's gonna actually have a bumper, but I don't like being able to see that big gap in there. So we just welded in a roll pan. We had to notch it for the bumper brackets. It's got tubular bumper brackets. We had to shave the gas doors on it, which made for more body work. Actually, I think this truck only had one on this side. That's more body work. All the welding in the floor caused more body work. We also put these weld-in tie-down pockets right there. That caused a little bit more body work. But this bed, I know exactly how many hours we have in this bed. I know how many hours we got in this tailgate. I fit the tailgate up for a flush-mounted. I set that tailgate up for a flush-mounted inside handle because of the way we're going to do the tailgate band on the back. It'll be smooth, it won't have a handle there. So the way we did this one, I know exactly how long it took. So jump to this truck bed. We're going to tub it also. I'm going to put the 4-inch wider tubs in here. I think what I'm going to do to try to save a little money, even though his bed floor is pretty good looking, surprisingly nice. I think what I'm going to do is buy the bed floor AMD makes that's already got the sectioning done to it and should hopefully not have any dents or anything in it. And I'm going to compare my time on this bed compared to the one that we just saw in the body shop. I'm thinking we'll end up cheaper in this one. But same deal, I can't tell this guy how much money we got in the other truck. Probably scare him off. I think we're going to actually be cheaper going this route. Now, when we did the other bed, AMD wasn't making that bed floor yet, so we had to modify it and do all that work ourselves, you know. Now here's the problem. I got to do this bed. There's no gas doors. It's going to probably be a wood floor or an aluminum floor. Not sure what exactly we're doing. I believe there are aluminum channels that resemble wood, kind of like a faux wood. Completely different bed. I have no idea the hours this is going to take. So either I can tell them the hours we have in that one, and it'll probably scare them off, or I can say, I don't know, we're going to have to just charge by the hour. Whatever it takes, it takes. Now, chances are this bed will be cheaper than that one, because I don't think there's near as much fabrication involved or body work. But still, you get what I'm saying. They're not the same. I don't have a time to go off of. And then once I do this truck bed, who knows what the next one will be like. Quick example. We did the exhaust on this truck. All 3-inch stainless. Put resonators on it, mufflers. Some of the exhaust is laying right here because we're working on the truck. And routing some cables and stuff under the truck, and it was in our way. But all stainless, very nice stuff. All the way out the back, just like he wanted it. I don't know if we can get a shot under here, can't quite tell. But when this frame came to us to get the exhaust work done, the frame was all powder coated, engine was in it, everything was already put together. So we basically had to work around all of that. And, you know, it's not a big deal. It's just it takes more time. You know, if I need to weld a mount on to the chassis or something to hold some exhaust, I can't. It's powder coated, you know. Or if I need to fixture something, I can't because the chassis is powder coated. Versus the exhaust right here, I was able to build this in like record time, you know. If I need to just weld a mount on here to hang this exhaust, I can just weld it right on the frame. Bam, I'm done. If I need to fixture up a muffler or whatever to hold it while I fabricate all the tubing, just do it. Just tack it right up there wherever I need it. You know, so also this frame, the way I designed it, I kept exhaust routing in mind when I did it. You know, not every chassis manufacturer does that. Some of these bagged trucks, when the suspension and stuff is all up in the bed, it doesn't give you a lot of room to run big exhaust. So it gets a lot more difficult. So I can't price that job off of the hours I got in this job. They're not even close. But while we're up here bragging, take a look at that. Ooh. So guys, after years of doing this, like I said before, I've probably done this somewhere around 18 or 20 years. I haven't actually ever added it up, but it's been a long time I've been doing this. I did a lot of race car stuff before the C10 stuff. I built drag cars and pro mod, drag radial, small tire stuff, street race stuff. I mean, I've built every drag car you could think of, except for like top alcohol. And every one of them is a custom one-off build. Never have I been able to say, this is how much it's gonna cost, and I keep track of my hours, and it's like right on the money, okay? Early in business, I just lost a lot of money, and I was young, I didn't eat a lot, and so I just would starve and get the job done. When I'd get in a bind, I'd just keep working, get the job done. I'm at a different point in my life. I've been doing this for a long time. I want to pay bills, I want to make money, and I want to grow as a business. So I'm at a point where I have to make money to do this stuff, or I'll just go do something else. I don't want to waste my talents, and I don't want to waste my employees' talents, and we just all go work at a government job, delivering mail or whatever, okay? So we want to keep doing this, we want to keep getting better, and we want to do better builds. So we have to make money and to keep improving. So the fairest thing I've came up with, I've been doing this for probably 6-8 years, something like that, and it worked out great with my race car business. And so I'm just doing the same thing in my C10 business. So I'm gonna give you a brief explanation of how I invoice, and hopefully it'll save us a little time. Maybe it'll help you out, give you a better understanding of what we do here. These two things, this is what I do. If I'm working on your truck, or one of my employees is working on your truck, we will charge you by the hour, and we run off a stopwatch. When I start working on your truck, turn the watch on, set it back down, I get to work. If my phone rings, stop it. Handle my phone call, come back, get working again. If I got to take a bathroom break, stop it. Come back, ready to work, turn it back on. Now let's say I'm working, maybe I'm bending up a tube on your chassis, and I just cut it too short, wasn't paying attention, burned an inch, scrapped it. Stop where I'm at. I'll go refix the tube, rebuild the tube, get it fit, come back, it's correct, pick up where I left off, okay? Now let's say that we're taking your truck apart and all the cab bolts are completely rusted off in this truck and it's taking forever to get them out. That's on your time, okay? I didn't do nothing wrong. It's just a rusted up truck. You would have spent the same time at your place fixing it as I am. So I'm gonna charge for that, that's on you. But when we make a mistake, we'll stop our watch. All my guys are honest. I don't hire any snakes. We keep track of our time, and we're fair. Okay, guys, here's timesheet. I chose Ron's timesheet because he's got the best handwriting. But for an example, February 12th and 13th. So this was for 2 days right here. He was obviously working on the same project, doing the same thing. So he just had his watch set for both days. So he got 9 hours in 2 days. So that's like 4.5 hours per day. So you can't tell me that watch didn't stop a few times that day, okay? Or those 2 days. That watch stopped several times. Otherwise, he would have 16 hours because he was definitely here for 2 full days. So he will give us a description of what he did that day. I'm not going to read all that, but it's basically a description of what he did. He was basically working on the wiring of that truck, but he went into detail what he did, okay? And then I will take this information, I put it into QuickBooks, I create an invoice. I'll go through his timesheet, like this is a different customer. He had 1.5 hours in that customer's deal, and it was actually the same day, so that's probably why this is lacking some hours, because he stopped his watch there, picked up another watch, and went for that project, got it ironed out. But anyways, at the bottom, he'll put in here, he had some 6-gauge mega lugs. He had 9 foot of 1/4 inch split loom. He'll put the materials they used in here while he was wiring up this truck, okay? And then I will take this information, I'll create a invoice, and I'll email it to you. If there's any discrepancies on that invoice, we're only a week's difference, okay? So if you want to negotiate some time from that week, maybe you think that, this 9 hours for all this work was too much, or the 1.5 hours for this work was too much. If you want to talk with me about your bill, you do have time to do that, but I'm not going to wait 3 weeks, or a month, or wait until you owe me money and then you go complaining about how much I charged you 6 weeks ago. At any given time, we're only a week apart. We can do a week's worth of work. I can send you the invoice. If you like what you see, we keep going. You pay me and we keep going. If you don't like what you see, we can stop right there. We can chop it up however you want. Good luck at the next shop. We'll move our separate ways. So there you goes, guys. You charge off that stopwatch. Every job is time and materials, okay? Now let's talk about creative time. For example, this truck, twin turbo, big horsepower. This guy's gonna race the crap out of this thing. So what I've learned going high speeds in these trucks is the hoods will try to taco up on the sides because it's only held down by this hood latch, okay? So ideally, we need hood pins to hold the corners of these down, or some type of Zeus fastener or something like that. That's why race cars have all the fasteners down the side of the fender holding that hood down, and usually a couple across the front. That thing will try to blow off. So he wants to keep this truck factory appearing on the outside. The paint scheme, everything is 100% factory look, two-tone. And I think it's awesome, good idea. But we got to figure out how to put hood pins upside down so you don't see them sticking up through the hood going down. Well, this might look like a simple task now that it's already done, but when you've never done anything like that before, your guy's over here trying to figure out how to shut the hood, make that pin, and then release back up with a factory latch. Guys, that's hard to figure out until you've seen it done. Now it seems like, oh, that's not that bad. But when you're starting with nothing, that takes a while to figure out. So a lot of that creative time you're going to have to pay for. This is your truck. You got to pay for some of that creative time. Now, if we get in here and we did some bonehead deal that wasn't even close to working, we might be like, all right, man, that was a bad idea. That's on me. I'm going to go ahead and scrub 3 or 4 hours off this bill, Or I might be like talking to one of my employees, hey, man, that's not what we talked about. We had an idea to go this direction and you kind of went south on it. I think we should scrub those hours. Then we'll scrub the hours, But I'm absolutely not in here giving you our best ideas and all of our best concepts for free. I mean, if I was going to do that, I would just put it all into my own truck, I'm trying to give you customers what you're paying for. So sometimes the R&D, I'll eat some of the R&D. If it's something that I think I can replicate and maybe sell, like maybe I can sell this core support. This was actually the 3rd design on that core support. I 100% ate the time on the first 2 designs, okay? Because I think we can market this and sell it. So I ate all the time on the R&D of the first 2 core supports just to build this one for him. I may never build another one. So I could have lost a ton of money on this deal, okay? I'm kind of betting that we'll end up building a fixture for him, and we'll build some more, and maybe I'll sell them. Coming up with turbo placement. You know, we stared at this truck for a couple of days trying to figure out how are we going to do the turbos. I didn't want to do them up here like everybody does because air conditioner lines, heater hoses, you know. On this side, you put them up here. You got power steering stuff in the way, alternator wiring in the way, power steering hose, you know. Plus, it's ugly. I don't like the headers coming forward, seeing this big old ugly turbo right here, and then all the piping going backwards, wastegates and all that crap. I think it looks trashy. Looks like a race car. We wanted to make it look a little cooler, hide some of that stuff. You know, wastegates are hidden up underneath here. Turbos are hidden down there. There's ductwork that comes off the turbo and goes into the fender well with the air filter. You can kind of see this side's mocked up to keep ambient air in the turbo, feeding the turbo. So, I mean, there was a lot of thinking that went into that. It would have been real simple just to put them up here, but it would have looked like crap. And I think we would have had other problems with the air conditioner lines, power steering stuff. I mean, it would have had its own issues. So, you know, trying to envision how to make all that is very difficult because everywhere you look at where you're putting those turbos, there's something you don't like, or there's an issue, or there's a conflict, no matter what. Even right where they're at, the biggest issue is just dealing with the steering column, you know, which it's just kind of mocked up there right now. We got some ideas of what we're going to do there, but no matter where you put them, there's going to be an issue you got to work through. So I'm not going to eat all of that creative time. Any shop, no matter who they are, how talented they are, they're going to have to go through the same creative process of figuring out where are we putting this. Man, okay, just quick, let's put it right here. And then later down the road, they cost themselves 20 hours trying to figure out now how to make the AC lines work because they put the turbos in a bad spot, you know? So just to finish that out, we will basically, I'll eat some of the creative time if I feel like it's necessary. But sometimes it's just warranted. You know, that's what it required. It was something that was hard to figure out. And, you know, so you got to pay for it. As long as me and my guys don't have trouble sleeping at night, then we're going to roll with it. You know what I mean? I'm constantly on my guys about their hours and how much time they got in something. Can we shave some hours here? Should we cut some hours there? Did you have any problems with this? Maybe we should, you know, trim back the hours on that. So, I mean, you can ask any of my guys that's worked for me in the present and in the past. You know, I'm on them about their hours. I want to make sure that we are fair with you guys. And, you know, that's just the best we can offer for you. Currently, we're charging $100 an hour. You know, I feel like that's fair. We have close to 20 years experience in this field. We got a big shop. We got expensive machinery and equipment and, you know, all that stuff that we got to pay for. I know heat and air guys charge more than that. I know plumbers charge $135, $145 an hour. I know dealerships right down the road, you know, change alternator, starter, do brake jobs. They're charging $135 an hour, you know. So I feel like right now, $100 an hour is fair. And so that's where we're at. Guys, since we're already talking about billing and invoicing, I want to bring up something else. As you see behind me, there's a whole wall of fittings, okay? I just showed you on the timesheet there how we can't bill for an entire 8-hour day, all right? We're running our stopwatch. You know, we have people calling. We got people stopping by. You know, we're doing all kinds of things throughout the day. Not every minute of our time is billable. So what really helps us out is selling parts. You know, I get that everybody's on a budget and they're all trying to pinch the pennies and, you know, get the best deal they can. We rely on part sales to help us through some of these, some of the hours that we can't bill for, you know. So the other thing is we invest into these companies. You know, as a business owner, if I go to Fragola and I want to, you know, get a deal with them, I've got to pay, you know, $9,500 or $12,000 buy-in, whatever it is. I'm probably only getting 10 to 12% of that. You know, I mean, it's tough business, parts business, tough business. But guys, it really helps us out. So whether it's my shop or any other shops that you guys are out there, you know, paying to do your builds, support them in more ways than just a labor, guys. If you can buy parts through them and they're fair with you, then you should support them, buy your parts through them. All right, guys, I'm gonna bring this video to an end. Hope that I've given you plenty of information. Hope you share this with other potential customers and maybe other shop owners. If you got somebody working on your truck, working on your car, and you think it would help them out, maybe it's some good advice. Please share it with them and let me know in the comments if you guys got any questions, and appreciate you watching. Bye.